Hi folks, my name's Cameron and I'm a counsellor and a life coach. Today's video is about rebuilding trust after a betrayal or an infidelity in relationships. Pretty big one I'm seeing a lot of at the moment, particularly around virtual infidelity, sexting, texting, dick pics, etc. So there is a framework, there is a process that we work through in order to rebuild trust and move forward. That is assuming that the relationship's not catastrophically over. So there's a process and it takes time. It takes effort and it takes agreement from both parties, and it takes some help from someone like me or another counsellor to work through. So here's basically the 5 or 6 steps that we operate from. The first one is laying the cards on the table, getting it all out there, coming clean about everything. There may be stuff you are holding back. There may be things you're not saying because you don't want to hurt the other person. It's usually quite often in these cases that the other person has somehow found out, in which case they want to know everything. They've got to get absolutely everything on the table and you've got to come clean. Even though there might be things that you're holding back that you know in a million years the other person can never possibly find out, and you hold that back, you got to look into that person's eyes and say at the end of this first part, babe, that's everything. I'm not telling you anything. I'm not telling you, there's nothing I haven't told you. If you're holding something back, yeah, you'll know, and that's going to weigh on you, and that's going to get heavier and heavier and heavier, and you got to drag that around. So it's your own integrity on the line here. So do yourself a favor, just come clean, get it all out on the table. As difficult as that is, and it sucks, and I know, and I've seen people do it, but once it's done, because then you can look at your other partner in the eye and say, babe, that's everything. And then with that information, the other person can then make a decision. Do I feel I can move or open the door to the possibility that I can move through this? That's the first part. Now, the second part is we've got to kind of get stuck into the whys. The why did this happen? What happened to make you feel that you needed to go look somewhere else? And that's a lot about what need was it fulfilling in you? What was the need? What were you getting fulfilled? What was in it for you? Was it the thrill of being naughty? Was there something else? Was it feeding some sort of ego? Was it, I don't know. We need to sort of get stuck into what happened. Was your partner not giving you what you wanted? Because that's what she is going to feel. I wasn't enough. Why wasn't I enough? What could I have given you to have stopped this? Because the person who's been betrayed starts to ask questions of themselves. What could I have done? Why did I not see this happening? Why? And they start to doubt themselves. So we need to sort of establish the what happened, where did things go wrong? And so we can then look at ways to prevent this from happening again. Now, the third part of this is time and transparency, and establishing a framework for recovery, establishing some parameters around what needs to happen in order for this to move forward. And that looks like whether it's you both need some space for a while, or you both need to do your own thing, self-exploration, coming to an agreement as to what needs to happen in order to start rebuilding the fences, and having an agreed framework. In order for recovery to take place and healing and trust to start to be re-given, both parties have got to have an equal investment and a commitment in redoing this. One person can't be heavily committed to the process. The other one, well, I'm just going to see how it goes, but I'm not going to promise anything. It's really difficult to make progress when you're doing that, because the first sign of trouble, the first sign of anything that you don't like, it's going to be, right, that's it, I knew it, I'm out the door. And the other person's going to be scrambling to go, look, no. It's got to be, look, I'm willing to give this healing an opportunity. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and a second chance. You've got to decide if you've been wronged, if you're willing to do that. It's really important. You've got to be willing. Can't be half in, half out. So it's time establishing the parameters of what the recovery is going to look like, what the healing looks like. The fourth bit is transparency, predictability, and reliability. So when we've been wronged, when the person has been wronged, that person then goes into hypervigilant detective mode. They're going to be looking for any evidence, anything, the slightest whiff that you're doing the wrong thing. Because that's just the way we are. Confirmation bias. We're looking for any proof, like, yeah, ha, I knew it. You're still up to it. So we've got to be if we're the ones that have done the wrong thing, we've got to be so overly, we've got to under promise and over deliver. But we've got to make sure if we say we're going to call at a certain time, we call 5 minutes earlier than that. If we say we're going to text, we text 5, we send 3 texts. If we say we're going to do something, we do it, and then we do something more. Because what needs to happen is eventually, the more times she is looking for you to do the wrong thing and you don't, and you do what you say you're going to do, because right now, I'm sorry to say, your words are meaningless. Whoever's done the wrong thing, your words don't mean shit. It's got to be your actions. So you've got to prove again and again and again and again that you have learnt, that you're committed to this. And the more times that the other person sees that, then slowly they'll their perception of you will shift, of being somebody who just fundamentally cannot be trusted to somebody that, okay. There's been more times that I can remember her being trustworthy than I can remember her not. So after a while, that becomes the new normal. And then again, the last bit is time. This takes time because the person who's done the wrong thing, we want this to go away as quickly as possible because it's uncomfortable. We don't like it. We just want this to all go away. Just come on, hurry up. This is all over. Nah, doesn't work like that. The other person needs time. They need time to be able to process and recover. And sometimes it's going to be a little bit of like, come here, go away, come here, go away. I love you, I need you, I don't want you, I hate you, I love you. There's going to be a lot of this, and you kind of got to put up with that for a while the other person goes through and processes their emotions. So don't be surprised if the person you have wronged says, I love you, come here, no, go away, 5 minutes later. You got to just roll with that. Now, here's the last bit, and this is where I turn my attention to the person who's been wronged, because this is what I see you guys doing wrong all the time. There has to be an agreement that, okay, we're going to resolve this after we've both agreed that this has been resolved, and yes, we can move on. We feel we've moved on from this. Then the incident goes in a box, a chain goes around that box, and then it goes into the deepest part of the ocean. Done. We've put it behind us. You who've been wronged, you don't get to carry this around in your back pocket like a soccer coach with his red card to pull out everything every time things don't start going your way. You don't get to carry this around as ammunition to throw in the other person's face whenever you feel like it, or whenever you feel like you're losing an argument. Doesn't work like that. You don't get to go, oh, things aren't going my way, I don't like it. Oh, hang on. You cheated. Because the other person's like, oh, fuck this again. I thought we'd moved on. So you've got to, because you don't want to be carrying that around either. You've got to let it, once you decided to let it go, that's what it means, let go. And that means including letting go of the ability to reuse that as ammunition later on. So that's where you guys get it wrong. So anyway, I hope that's been helpful. Trust rebuilding it takes time and it takes work, and it's got to be an agreed framework. And I work with a lot of couples on this, and look, you get there. You do get there, but both people have to be equally committed to the process. That's the key thing. You've got to both be in it.